building tech with purpose and keeping the end in mind. And by the way, if you have any questions for the speakers, we have listed their Twitter accounts, as you can see. And so today, who's going to be talking about building tech with purpose is Roberto Hortel, who is head of product of chargers and app software at Wallbox Chargers. And Roberto is an innovator, digital visionary, and an agent of change with many years of experience in UK and international corporations. So Roberto, thank you for being here, and wonderful to have you.
Thank you, and hello from sunny Barcelona as well. There's two of us here. Right, let's talk a little bit about why we do what we do. Can I see the next slide? I really want to clicker. So we normally talk about what we are working on, and we've been spending a lot of time talking about what are the most efficient ways to do what we do. But we've also seen some great examples earlier about someone literally shooting for the moon and doing something because they were inspired as children. And I want to talk to you a little bit more about that. So one of the things that I wanted to kind of show you is this picture, which I stole from John Kotler, who it talks about making sure that we start with the end in mind. Why do we want to do what we do? And this is one that I did in my previous job when I was working as an ed tech. When our goal was to improve education outcomes around the world. And then at the bottom there, you can see that in order to do that, we need to do some tasks. We need to automate some things. We need to count a number of things. But we always kind of think about why we want to do and how do we want to leave the world a little better than we found it, if we can at all. I see the next slide. So what makes a good end? Purpose. So not only we need to understand what is the end of what we're doing, but can we turn into something that actually inspire us and inspires also our customers? So the reason why something exists, the underlying essence. I love this definition. Can you think about the kinds of work that you do every day and try to describe the underlying essence that makes your work relevant and necessary to its customers? It's not something that is just going to make your business successful, but it's going to help the overall good of society. And it also, and very importantly, if you think about it from your own point of view as consumers, it helps your users demonstrate what they stand for. So when you think about it, your users are going to use their product as something that kind of demonstrates the kind of people that they are, right? We are there in the middle about, what do we love? What impact do we want to leave in the world? What drives our profit? And actually, what are we best at? What can we do that nobody can do better than us? But it's only when we combine all of these things, our passions, the meaning, our visions and values, that we actually kind of create something with actual purpose. So can we see the next slide, please? So a few examples. I like to talk about myself a lot. Everyone does a little bit. So I'll tell you about my purpose story. So a long time before many of you were born, I used to work in a company that was all about the purpose. It was right there on the logo, Nokia, connecting people. It was very clear what was the point of the business existing. The whole business kind of gravitated around this purpose. That was something that we wore very clearly, in every box, in every product, in every phone that we create. Every time you turn on the phone, we reminded you we are all here about because we want to connect people. And then I worked for a company called EasyJet, and this was a lot less overt about the purpose. We didn't shout about it from the rooftops. But if you think about it, what EasyJet and the other low-cost airlines did was opening up the world. Before these kind of companies were around, travel was a luxury and was only available to certain classes of people. When EasyJet, Ryanair, people like this came around, suddenly we could all just turn up and go and visit other places. And, we could experience other nations, we could experience other cultures, and we could get to know people that were different to who we were. And we all became better in the process, So very important, I think, transformation, a very important purpose. Why would you want to be able to arrive anywhere for not a lot of money? Then a few more places later, I've told you about this one already. That's what the example I used before. It was sort of improving educational outcomes around the world. So, a really good purpose. We want to leave the new generations better off than we had the opportunity to be in our education. And now, one of the key reasons why I joined Wallbox just 5 weeks ago was because of their purpose. And again, this is something that they use in their job adverts. This is something that they use in the website, and this is something that they talk about. We talk about now with pride. We want to liberate the world from fossil fuels. It's nothing about charging cars here. This is all about transforming the world with this power and completely eliminating fossil fuels from the value chain. So this is the sort of thing that I recommend you think about when you're describing to other people what you do for a living. Perhaps let's talk a bit less about what we do, and perhaps let's talk a little bit more about why we do it, because it is important that we all have something that we feel motivated about in the morning. We work in something that really defines a little bit who we are. Right, next, please. So how do we become purpose-driven? Purpose is the difference between managing something and mobilizing resources. When you think about movements, we all kind of have a passion. And we don't need to be told to engage in our passion. We just need to be able to understand how we fit into an organization. If you think about people that are fighting for climate these days, it's much more about how do we make a valuable contribution to the thing. So when you think about this from the purpose of creating technology and products, think about how do we solve for converging customer and societal needs, as well as business objectives. Business objectives are as important. No one's going to have a sustained success if we can't pay the bills. Great ideas, great ideas without business, fair business support behind them, don't last very long. If you're a leader, if you're lucky enough to be a leader, lead with a servant heart and a systems mind. Servant leadership is a thing that we'll talk about the next time we get together, but something I'm passionate about. We as leaders are here to enable other people to succeed, and a systems mind, understand the long change of consequences of things when you happen. And finally, adopt practices that integrate diverse perspectives. So I'm very quickly going to talk to you about each one of these in sequence. So if we go to the next one, please. When we're talking about converging needs, you've seen this picture before, so I won't bore you with it again, but it's about just making sure that you get to a point where your aims, the aims of society and the aims of your customers, as well as the aims of your business, kind of coalesce, and you will have a great kind of starting point from which to deliver purpose. We come to the next one, please. A systems mind. This is quite funny. So this is a story that appears in one of the books that have to do with the world of Freakonomics. I can't remember exactly which one of the books it is, but some people decided that the best way to get parents to pick up the children on time from daycare in America was to charge them a fine. So there's a $1 per minute late fee. What actually happened was that parents thought that they were actually buying a service, so they started turning up later and later. So something that was created with the right idea in mind delivered the actual opposite effect. So think about what's going to happen when you actually introduce something, and make sure that you're actually measuring your outcomes, not just your intentions. Can we go to the next one, please? This is also another example. What happens when you deploy AI, and AI has been trained with white males. Suddenly your systems start to discriminate by design, and then you have to very quickly roll back and think about whether your purpose, which was actually to make things accessible and cheaper, has been delivered, or you've actually shot yourself in the foot. So make sure that you don't do this. Next one, please. And then, think about purpose-driven technology, we are a systems thinker by nature. We combine development and operations and UX and everything else, and we call it DevOps. And we haven't got to be told how to think about at the convergence of these great practices. So we are the people that can actually enable businesses to be purpose-driven by making sure that we apply our practice to free them up from the things that normally get in the way of becoming purpose-driven. Next one, please. All right, so you probably have seen this one before. It's all about becoming smart creatives. It's all about deploying the tools of a systems thinker. Again, this is more of a message to say, you guys and girls are the people that are going to enable businesses everywhere to be purpose-driven. Next one. Actually, interestingly, customers really care about purpose. We have seen these recently in the UK. More than 50% of people basically say they make choices based on the purpose of the businesses that they operate, that they buy from, and millennials is 2/3 of them. So if we needed a reason to be purpose-driven, here it is. We shouldn't need one because it's the right thing to do anyway. Next one, please. And yes, just make sure that you are your passion. So thank you for listening to me today. I think this is my last slide. I'm going to dare to say next one, please, just in case, but I don't think there is any more. And congratulations to all the nominees. Congratulations to all the winners. I was a member of the jury. This was really difficult because all of the submissions were so good. And I look forward to the rest of the day.